Hi, this is Dr. K. Satyanarayan Reddy, and I have 30 years of experience in teaching computer science and engineering subjects. And currently, I am presenting the subject data communications. Please view it, subscribe it, and share it in large numbers. Today, we shall be starting with Bluetooth technology. Right. So, this Bluetooth technology is a kind of wireless LAN technology which is designed to connect different devices of different functions, and when they are at a short distance from each other, means these devices must be located at a short distance from each other, maybe within the range of 10 meters, kind of thing. 10 meters means 30 feet kind of thing. And a Bluetooth LAN is basically ad hoc network. That means it can be formed at any point of time where there are some three, four, what I mean to say, systems or hosts. They can join through Bluetooth LAN network. And when not required, they can disperse also. So it's a kind of ad hoc network. And these devices are generally called as gadgets, and they can, if you're in mobile phone, Bluetooth is on, they can find each other to make a network called as PicoNet. Pico means a small net, right? So this is what is there. And Bluetooth LAN can even be connected to the internet if the gadgets have that capability. I mean to say, Bluetooth can be used for connecting to the internet. The gadgets have that capability, right? And by nature, Bluetooth LAN cannot be very large. It has to be small in size. And the protocol which is used for implementing Bluetooth standard is IEEE 802.15. This is what you have to remember, that Bluetooth follows implementation protocol follows the protocol number IEEE 802.15 standard. And this particular, what I mean to say, standard defines a kind of wireless personal area network called as PAN, right? And this PAN can extend to a small room, or it can be a hall, maximum one hall, size not exceeding 10 meters. 10 meters means 30 feet, kind of thing. And it has several applications. So if you wish to know the Bluetooth applications, it has several, what I would say, applications, like the supporting devices, peripheral devices such as wireless mouse or wireless keyboard can communicate with the computer using this Bluetooth technology, right? You might be having in laptop Bluetooth dongle is there, and through which you can, have a Bluetooth mouse, wireless mouse, which is there. This Bluetooth can also used for communicating with the sensor devices in healthcare center, small healthcare center. It should not be very large, right? And if you are implementing home security, right, within a particular home, so these security devices can use this Bluetooth technology for getting connected to the different sensors to the main, what I mean to say, security controller. Similarly, suppose some conference is going on, and in that conference, some people are attending the conference, so they can synchronize their laptop computers, at a conference. So all these are a few applications of Bluetooth that I have, what I mean to say, done. Now let us see the types of Bluetooth network. So types of Bluetooth networks are generally, there are two types. One is PicoNet and one is ScatterNet. So first we will define as what is a PicoNet. What I meant to say, Bluetooth network. So it's a small network called as sometimes small net or PicoNet, right? So basically, a PicoNet can support maximum of 8 stations, means 8 hosts at any point of time. And out of these 8 hosts, one host will act as primary, and remaining 7 hosts will act as a secondary. That means I may be having 8 hosts, right? So 8 hosts means, suppose this is one host, so I can draw this as a piconet, and suppose this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So these are this is the small area of a room I can take. You got the idea? And I call this as a primary. And these 7 will be secondary 1, secondary 2. You got the idea? This will be secondary 3. This is secondary 4, right? So this is secondary 5, secondary 5, right? And this is secondary 6 and secondary 7, secondary 7. Okay. So this is a primary. So only one, what I meant to say, so I can call this as a piconet. I can call this as piconet, PICO. So piconet. So piconet is nothing but a small, what I meant to say, Bluetooth network, which will connect a maximum of 8 devices. Out of 8 devices, one device will act as a primary, and remaining 7 devices will act as a secondary device. So this is what is there. You should remember. Next is we will see and maximum number of primary stations that a piconet can have is only one. So no more than one station can be primary. Now, the communication between primary to secondary stations can be one-to-one communication or one-to-many communication. That means we have seen that if primary station wants to communicate to a single, say, host number 7, secondary number 7, so this is one-to-one connection. But if primary decides to communicate with, secondary host 2, secondary host 5, and secondary host 6, this is one-to-many connection, one-to-many connection kind of thing. So we will see in next slide how a piconet is designed. Right. So though we have said a piconet can have maximum 7 secondaries, additional secondaries can be there. I mean to say, this is not a compulsory rule that in a, what I mean to say, so if I am having a piconet, something like this, if I am having a piconet, so this is a piconet, right? So this is a piconet. So I have a small network of Bluetooth devices. So this is, if I take this as a piconet, I am having a scenario that there is a primary here. This is a primary, and I have several secondaries. I have several secondaries. You got the idea here. I may have several secondaries, more than 7. I am saying that Bluetooth, piconet can comprise of maximum 8 systems, but it can, more number can be there. So as you can see here, 3 plus 3, 6 plus 2, 8 plus, you got the idea, 2, 10 plus 3, 13, total 14 systems are there. But at a time, only 8 will be active, including the primary one, including the primary this thing. So suppose this is active and this is active. You got the idea? This is active and this is active. This is active, this is active, and this is active. So how many are there? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are active. That means these are actively communicating with the primary. You got the idea, with the primary stations. Remaining stations like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, though they are connected to the primary, but they will be in something called as parked state. It is called as parked state. Parked state means they will be, connected to the primary, but they cannot communicate with the primary. That is what is called as parked state. That is what is called parked state. So this is what you have to remember, that there can be more than what I meant to say, 8 hosts. within a piconet, but out of if more than 8 hosts are there, then only 8 hosts can be involved in communication. So out of 8, 1 will be primary and remaining 7 will be secondary. The other secondary devices, though they are connected to primary, but they are said to be in parked state. And remaining, those who are communicating with the primary are called as in active state. But suppose now this particular station wants to communicate with this particular primary. There is only one primary, right? This primary wants to communicate. Now, out of these active 7 secondaries, one has to go into parked state, then only this can become active. If these, what I meant to say, suppose this station goes suppose this particular station, goes into parked state. So now this station can become active. You got that? This station can become active. So this is what is there. For a parked station to become active, one of the active, what I meant to say, station has to be going into a parked state. Otherwise, parked station cannot become active. So this is what you have to remember. Now, next we shall see. So secondary in a park state is synchronized with primary. As I said, it is connected, so synchronized, but it cannot take part in the communication unless a parked state becomes from parked state, it goes to active state, right? So this is the arrangement of piconet in which you have a primary, and this piconet, small net, is comprising of only 4 what I meant to say secondaries, and these are mobile stations, right? They are not, I meant to say, and the range of this particular room, if I take this as a room, it cannot be more than 10 meters. So 10 meters means 30 feet kind of arrangement. Now we have what I meant to say, the second type of network called as piconet. So scatter net. This scatter net can be, comprising of more than one piconet. You got the idea? More than one piconet can form a scatter net. So here in this secondary in one piconet, the speciality of this particular scatter net is, suppose in one piconet, one station is a primary, is secondary in one piconet, but in other piconet it can be primary. So it's some scenario is like this. In next slide I'll show you how this happens. So what happens, this station which is acting as a secondary in one piconet and primary in the other piconet can receive messages from the primary in the first piconet and as a secondary. So as a secondary, it can receive a message from primary in first piconet. And now since it is a primary station for second piconet, it can transfer that data, what it has received from the primary of first piconet to the secondary of second piconet. This is what can happen. So I mean to say, I can have inter piconet transfer of the data, right? So a station can be a member of 2 piconets. Now we shall see that particular diagram. So I have a piconet here, which is comprising of 4 what I meant to say secondary, and there is one primary, and I have another small piconet over here, which is comprising of 3 stations only. And you can see here this particular system is acting as a secondary in the first piconet. So this is the first piconet, right? So this is the first piconet. So I call this as first piconet. Right? So this is first piconet, and this is second piconet, right? This is second piconet. So you can see here that in first piconet, right? In the first piconet, this particular system is acting as a secondary here, secondary in the first piconet, and this system is acting as a primary in this. Now suppose this system wants to communicate with this particular system, which is lying outside the piconet. So what it will do is this secondary device will send data to this primary. Now this primary knows that what I meant to say, this station is not belonging to the current piconet. So it will transfer the data to this secondary, what I meant to say, station, which is acting as a primary in the second piconet. So this data from this station comes to this particular station. So this station receives the data from first piconet primary. You got the idea? As a secondary, this will receive data from primary of first piconet. And now it has to transfer the data to this particular system. So it dons the role of primary here. So it will transfer the data from, as a primary, it will transfer the data to this particular small secondary. This is how inter piconet transfer, data transfer can occur, right? So this is what is there. We should know. Uh, right. So Bluetooth devices have built-in, short-range radio transmitter. Basically, this is what you should know. So because why radio transmitter is there, the entire data is converted into a radio signal, So it should have a radio transmitter to transmit the signal. The current data rate is 1 Mbps, what I meant to say, and the bandwidth that is allocated to a Bluetooth device is 2.4 gigahertz, right? And this means that there is a possibility of interference between 802.11b wireless LANs. So if there is a frame coming from a wireless LAN, and Bluetooth LAN is there, so there may be, what I meant to say, interference, because that also wireless LAN also operates in this 2.4 gigahertz frequency.